In the Grand Assembly Hall of Xeria, a hush fell over the gathered species, a myriad of forms and minds that had long ruled the cosmos in a coalition of power. The ornate doors at the chamber's end swung open with ceremonial gravitas, allowing a solitary figure to enter. Captain Elias Holt, the human envoy, walked with deliberate steps towards the central dais where the council convened. His presence was an anomaly. Humans were newcomers, viewed with a mixture of curiosity and caution, yet the air around him thrummed with undeniable intensity. He wore the standard-issue uniform of Earth's Galactic Navy, its insignia catching the ambient light. But it wasn't the sharpness of his attire that drew the eyes, it was the unflinching resolve etched into his features. Without ceremony or preamble, he spoke, his voice carrying through the silence. "Esteemed leaders of the Zydian Council," he began, his tone measured but laced with an undercurrent of steel. "Humanity has watched and waited as our outposts on the fringes of your territories have suffered. Our people have been harassed, our ships attacked, and our sovereignty challenged. This ends now." The council members exchanged glances, their whispers a soft cacophony against the heavy stillness that Holt's words had wrought. Holt continued, "We have come to you in peacetime and again, seeking only a sliver of the vast universe you claim as your dominion. In return, we have been met with aggression, our overtures of diplomacy answered with silent contempt, our patience mistaken for weakness." He paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle over the council. His next words were not a plea, but a final notice, a cold ultimatum from a species pushed to the brink. "I stand before you today not to bargain, not to beg, but to inform. Humanity will not be hunted, cornered, nor will we falter in the protection of our own. We have one message for you, one warning: your worlds will burn. The flames will not consume the innocent, but they will ignite the skies of those who dare to oppress us." A tumult of reactions broke out as Holt turned on his heel, his message delivered, his warning clear. He departed as he had arrived, alone, leaving the Zydian Council to their turmoil. The spark had been ignited. The human fleet, under the command of Admiral Hawke, awaited Holt's return. They would not start a war, but they were more than prepared to end one. Captain Elias Holt's return to the human fleet brought with it an air of impending change. The halls of the flagship Vindicator buzzed with a tension that was both electric and grave. Admiral Hawke surveyed his crew, their faces a blend of determination and anticipation. The message had been delivered, now it was time to act. The Vindicator, a leviathan of space, bristled with the weaponry of a civilization not just risen, but ascendant. Its angular design spoke of battles past and victories etched into its steel memory. In the hush of the command center, the hum of the ship's core was like the heartbeat of some colossal, slumbering beast now roused to wakefulness. Hawke turned to his assembly of officers. "The Zydians view our resolve as a bluff," he announced. "They have grown complacent in their dominion, mistaking our diplomatic overtures as signs of weakness. We shall remind them that humanity was born of fire and strife." The plan was bold, a series of calculated strikes that would cripple Zydian power without significant bloodshed. Hawke was not a man to court war, but neither would he shrink from it. "We start by severing the head," he said, his gaze piercing. "The communication satellites orbiting Xea's moon will be the first to fall." Officers nodded, moving to their stations with a purpose honed by rigorous training and unshakable camaraderie. The mission would require precision, there was no room for error. The satellite network was the linchpin of Zydian control over their outlying territories. Without it, their response would be sluggish, confused, a weakness to be exploited. As the fleet prepared for deployment, each vessel cloaked in the shadow of nebula and cosmic dust, a quiet confidence settled over Hawke. This was the human way, to meet the unknown with a steady eye and an unwavering spirit. The crew of the Vindicator and the accompanying ships readied themselves, not for a battle of conquest, but one of principle. Their worlds would not burn under an oppressor's yoke. The first wave of ships blinked out of the Vindicator's shadow, slipping into the vast expanse with a silence that belied their deadly intent. The storm was gathering, its epicenter at the very heart of human defiance, and it would break upon the stars with a fury that would be remembered. As the fleet moved into position, Hawke's final words echoed in the minds of his crew: "Let us show them the strength of our resolve. For Earth, for humanity, we light the dark." The human fleet, draped in the shadow of an asteroid belt near the Kren space, lay in silent ambush. Captain Elias Holt, his eyes reflecting the starlight, oversaw the operation from the command deck of the frigate Indomitable. This was the moment of first contact, the kind history would remember, not with a handshake, but with a show of strength. As the Zydian armada cruised through the void, their warships formidable against the backdrop of deep space, they remained oblivious to the eyes tracking their every move. Holt's crew, veterans of skirmishes on the frontier, stood poised for the signal. "Initiate the pulse," Holt ordered, his voice resolute. The Indomitable, along with the cloaked ships of its flotilla, released a synchronized salvo of electromagnetic pulses. The space around the Zydian ships shimmered as the pulses hit, an aurora of disruption. Like great leviathans caught in a net, the Zydian ships found themselves powerless, their lights flickering out, their engines dying. The ambush had worked flawlessly. With the Zydian ships adrift, Holt didn't allow for a moment's hesitation. "Deploy the boarding parties," he commanded. Pods shot out from the Indomitable's bays, each one carrying a team of soldiers clad in powered armor. They made landfall on the enemy ships like metallic seeds born by a tempest. Holt watched the operation unfold on his screens, with reports coming in. The human soldiers swept through the Zydian ships with precision, meeting resistance but overpowering the confused defenders with ease. Within hours, they had commandeered the fleet. The victory was a testament to human tenacity and tactical acumen, but Holt knew it was just the beginning. The seizure of the Zydian armada would serve a purpose far greater than a mere show of might. Amongst the captured vessels were those carrying the latest in warp drive technology, a prize that could turn the tide in humanity's favor. As engineers began the work of unraveling the secrets of the alien propulsion systems, Holt couldn't help but ponder the road ahead. The Zydians would want retribution, but now humanity had a new edge. The first contact had been made, and it had delivered a message to the galaxy. Humanity was no longer the underdog in this cosmic game, the rules had changed, and they had the captured Zydian fleet to prove it. The retaliation from the Zydians was swift and merciless. Their war fleet surged towards the human colony of New Terra, a beacon of civilization on the Outer Rim. Captain Elias Holt, now back on terra firma, coordinated the colony's defenses from the Strategic Command Center. New Terra, while bustling with life and activity, was not unprepared for the storm that approached. The Zydian fleet descended with a ferocity that turned day into night, their ships blotting out the sun as they prepared to unleash their fury. Holt, known for his calm demeanor even in the face of imminent danger, issued his orders with precision. "Prepare all ground units and activate the orbital defense ring," he commanded, his voice cutting through the rising tension like a knife. As the first Zydian troops landed, they found not the open welcome of a vulnerable colony, but a fortress bristling with readiness. The humans had laid a network of defensive perimeters, mines, and drone patrols that turned the landscape into a deadly chessboard. The Zydians, though taken aback by the fierce resistance, pushed forward with their assault. However, every step they took was contested, every advance met with sniper fire, artillery barrages, and ambushes. Holt had transformed the industrial complexes and residential areas into a labyrinth of death traps, utilizing the colony's robust infrastructure to its full militant potential. The battle for New Terra raged on, the colony echoing with the sounds of warfare and the harsh alien commands of the Zydian officers. Yet amidst this chaos, the human defenders held their ground, driven by a resolve to protect their home and loved ones. Holt, monitoring the progress from his command post, saw an opportunity. The Zydians, frustrated and scattered by the unexpected resistance, had exposed their flank. Without hesitation, he ordered a counter-offensive. The humans, in a display of tactical genius, encircled the main Zydian battalion, cutting them off from their ships. The turning point came under the cloak of nightfall. The humans launched a decisive strike, targeting the Zydian command ship. Special forces, led by Holt himself, infiltrated the vessel, taking control and capturing its crew. This bold move effectively decapitated the Zydian command structure and sowed confusion among their ranks. By dawn, the remnants of the Zydian forces were either captured or in full retreat. The humans had not only defended New Terra but had done so with a strategic acumen that left the Zydians reeling. The victory was more than just a battle won, it was a statement. Humanity, though young and less advanced in the eyes of the galaxy, had demonstrated an ingenuity and ferocity that could not be underestimated. Captain Elias Holt stood on the battlefield, now eerily quiet after the storm of war, knowing that the fight for humanity's place among the stars had only just begun. The Zydians would return, but so would the humans, stronger and more united than ever.